Hi, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another video edition of Widower Wednesday. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and today we're going to discuss the first reason that marriages to widows and widowers end in divorce. Now, second marriages in general have a very high divorce rate. It's about 60%, and you throw widow and widower issues on top of that, and it can approach 66, 70%. So about two-thirds of marriages to widows and widowers end in divorce. And there are three main reasons that they end in divorce. And the first one that these marriages fall apart is very simple, and that is that the widow or widower isn't ready to start a new chapter. Now, he or she may have meant well, and they may care deeply about you, and probably deep down they thought they were ready to open their heart. However, something in them is still closed off, still guarded, and somehow they're still holding on to the past in such a way that it makes it impossible for them to truly give themselves to someone new and start a new life with that person. Now, after losing a spouse, widows and widowers carry a mountain of emotional weight, which includes guilt for loving someone else, fear of facing loss again, the inability to work through their grief, and confusion over whether it's possible to even open their heart. Now, when all that's going on under the surface, they may still go through the motions of dating and building a life with you because they want a relationship, right? They miss a relationship. They may be affectionate. They may talk about a future. They may even say, I love you. But inside, there's a wall that keeps them from fully connecting, even when things look good on the outside. Now, sometimes you might be able to sense that something is off or that he or she is not fully invested in the relationship. And so when you raise concerns, the widow or widower, they kind of brush it off. They tell you that everything's fine. But regardless, it doesn't matter what they say because if they haven't worked through that wall before marriage, it's not going to magically disappear after the vows. They're not going to magically say, oh, hey, I'm married. I got to change things. This is something they really need to work through before they're married. Now, sadly, I almost made this very mistake of getting serious, meaning married, before I was ready to open my heart. As many of you know, soon after Krista died, I was in contact with a good friend that I call Jennifer in my books. Things started pretty innocently between us, but soon we started dating and quickly became exclusive. I promised her the world and applied a life of happiness together, and she believed me. But thankfully, I was kind of able to realize that something was wrong before it led to marriage. And even though the breakup broke her heart in the long run, it was the best thing for both of us. Because marriage requires not only physical but emotional presence, and a widow or widower who's still grieving, still stuck in the past, and can't give you what you need to grow a relationship shouldn't be marrying you. So before you walk down the aisle, you really need to take a hard look of where they're really at. Do they talk about the future with clarity and commitment? Do they make space for your relationship and not just alongside the memories, but can they put your relationship above the memories and above the past? Have they proven through actions, and this is probably the most important part, but have they proven through their actions that they're capable of making you the priority? Because if they haven't done that before the wedding, they're not going to start doing it after. And this is actually something that was backed up. I spoke at a widow and widower conference just this weekend, and I actually sat next to a guy and was talking to him for a while, and his second marriage, I think, ended after about 18 months, but he fully admitted that he was not ready for that marriage and got into it when he shouldn't have. So I think there's a lot of self-awareness there. Unfortunately, in hindsight for him, but again, I think it's something that widows and widowers are getting more aware of, that they need to be present and they need to be there if they want the relationship to work out. So anyway, go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay in touch with my latest videos. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and I'll see you all next Wednesday with the second reason that marriages to widows and widowers end in divorce.